Hey Trekkies, it's summer, and you know what that means. It's time for Creation Entertainment's Trek to Las Vegas 2025. This year, the convention has been expanded to a 5-day schedule, August 6th through the 10th at the Rio Las Vegas Hotel. Meet all your favorite Star Trek pros in one place, and hey, maybe you swing by Vic's Lounge and you see our panel. It's a great way to meet people in person and have some fun with your fellow Trekkies. If you can't make it to Star Trek Las Vegas, of course, there's also other events around the country this year. Trek to Orlando, August 23rd through 24th. There's the Trek to New Jersey, September 6th and 7th. And finally, the Trek to Chicago, November 22nd and 23rd. We're looking forward to meeting as many of you as we can this year. So make sure that you get ready to trek to Las Vegas.
This is Alice Wetterlund, and you're listening to Open Pike Night, the podcast so good you don't even need to watch Star Trek to enjoy it.
Is this thing on? Hello, hello. Welcome to Open Pike Night, the Strange New Worlds podcast where your personal logs are the prime directive. I'm your host, John T. Bowles, here tonight with some amazing guests on stage and in the studio to discuss Episode 10 of Strange New Worlds Season 2, Hegemony, the finale. Join us tonight as we travel to a place that looks like 1960s America that is totally unprepared for their first glimpse of the Gorn, how few special weapons it takes to arm a squad of Gorn exterminators, and which of the OPN hosts would reveal their Gorn Egg-sac status, and which would hide it until it's too late, dooming us all. Joining me tonight are my co-hosts, the man who's already designing his space helmet Gorn cosplay, host of Sudden But Inevitable, Jesse.
That's right, producer John, and I'm looking into plastic surgery to get my neck to do that forward bendy thing that would absolutely be required to fit into that helmet.
And the man who builds energy wall traps to catch every critter he can, but his kids keep tripping them. Host of Green Shirt and Newbie Strike Through TNG, Cameron.
All right, I'm going to give it my best shot. But I'm not convinced the wee little ones aren't actually Gorn themselves, laddie. Yeah.
And the woman who knows a little something about aliens, small towns, comedy, and podcasting about Trek, recently featured on Green Shirt and Newbie Strike Through TNG and host of Treks in the City, Alice Wetterlund is our guest tonight.
Hey, how's it going? Try that in a small town. I've been playing Zelda recently, the Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
Ooh.
And it's like, I like to say, try that in Gerudo Town.
Have you had a chance to build any, starships or anything like that?
I built I don't. You can build starships?
I don't know. I have never played it. I just see videos and people are building pretty much anything. So
you can build. Well, you can't like build a warp capable. It's mostly like small mechanics and stuff like that because there's certain things that allow movement. And I just became aware of some more magical fusing stuff recently. So
well, not with that attitude. You're not building warp engines. You gotta have a can-do attitude.
Yeah, it would be amazing if I could. And it's just that's the reason it's not, they don't do warp capable is because otherwise Star Trek ships and like Federation ships could just enter Hyrule orbit and just make themselves known. And that would make the whole game like harder to play because there's like other stuff going on. It feels like we have to defeat Ganondorf before we deal with like entering the Federation.
Other stuff? I thought Zelda games were notoriously very short.
And like linear,
I'm still playing Breath of the Wild.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, I mean, basically, you talk to Hudson, you build your house, and then you're good. You can ignore the whole Ganon thing.
Right?
Sometimes I'm like, I'm just here for Korok seeds. Everybody,
heck yeah,
fuck off.
Excellent.
So I'm here for the chicken tossing.
Yeah.
Alice, tell us about your history with Star Trek as much as the SAG-AFTRA strike will allow.
Okay. Well, oh yeah, that's true. Well, fortunately, my podcast has not struck work because we've never been paid by a studio, and we definitely aren't now. we're doing our podcast on Patreon only, and you could subscribe at patreon.com/Treks in the City for that. We are covering DS9 now after doing all of the Next Generation, and those episodes are available. And there's Patreon only episodes also available where we started to cover the original series.
Yeah.
So, and I think we stopped at Gorn. We actually have a live show where we did a sing along to the Gorn song. I don't know if did
She
Veronica
told us about
share this with you guys?
Natalie
I remember.
Imbruglia cover of Gorn.
Natalie Imbruglia.
Yep.
I'm just Gorn. Yeah, it was sort of a precursor to I'm just Ken. So I've watched Star Trek pretty much my whole life. Yeah, I think since I was old enough to absorb the concepts of space travel. I started with original series when I was in my like grade school days, and then Next Gen was syndicating when I was in like junior high and high school, and that's started to really blow my mind and freak me out in a good way. And then when I got to LA, the first time when I moved to LA, one of my only friends here was a comedian named Danny Solomon, who was a comedian I knew from New York, and we basically got high every day and watched Next Gen. And that was the beginning of wanting to make this podcast. And then I met Veronica, and she's a huge Trek fan. So we had a really solid relationship. And then she went to Europe. No, I'm just kidding. She's coming back. She just goes to Europe a lot. But if you want to hear about that, subscribe.
Now, she hadn't watched any Strange New Worlds when she guested in our episode for the first.
That's right.
The pilot.
And so she had to catch up.
Season 2, episode 1. Have you watched all of Strange New Worlds?
Well, that's interesting because I watched, and I'm looking for it now, an episode. I like when I had to do this, I watched all of season 1, and I was like devoured it, and I was like, I'm obsessed with this. I love Anson Mount. And if you watch, so I was at Comic-Con, not this past, but the year before. And Anson Mount was there with all the Star Trek people, and he has no stylist, and it's glorious. Like the absolute, like it's super got dressed in the dark vibes, like on the red carpet. Anson Mount. It's like we're like, is that an Argyle vest? Like what's happening? It's like leather pants, Argyle vest, like it's all fucked up. And he's like, yeah. And you're just like, oh my God, you sweet son of a child. But I don't know that I watched the finale now that I'm looking at. I think I might have watched the wrong episode because I was not caught up to season the finale episode. So I watched and watched and watched, and I was like devouring it. And I got to the episode where it's the crossover with the Lower Decks cast. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that's the finale. What a good finale.
Spoiler alert.
And you guys are like, wow, Gorn plays a huge role. And I'm like, he kind of did. And then I'm like, fuck, there's another episode after the one I watched. More. So you guys, okay, so here's the deal. I don't understand anything anymore about the internet. But I still feel like as a person who pays for a service, such as Paramount Plus, which I call it Paramount Oops, it's like they don't show you. You have to hit show more to get to the, it's like, and it's so counterintuitive because it's like once you've watched an episode, it doesn't show you like, here's the next one you need to watch. You still have to hit show more.
My favorite is that you have to like go down many, many pages to get to what you have been watching. Yeah. No, I came here to continue watching the show I've been watching. Don't continue. What?
I know. And you're like, do you want to watch Minesweepers live? And you're like, what even is that? Why would I want to watch that? You're like, the latest telenovela in a language you've never shown interest in speaking. Well, no, obviously. So I'm trying to blame this service for not showing me the episodes, but now I'm realizing like this is completely my fault. And I just am discovering now that I have more Strange New Worlds to watch. So
that's the good news.
I could come back after watching it later dates, if you guys have banked, or you can just spoil the shit out of it for me. And I don't care about spoilers usually. So that's fine because my brain, I had to stop smoking pot because my brain already works like this. I'm just like, what? So you could spoil it. I'd probably forget it. Whatever you guys want to do. I feel like we'll have fun either way.
I know we will have fun either way. I don't know if the calls are going to go like beat by beat, so
Not
we'll
really.
probably just get some
Yeah.
overarching pieces here.
Yeah.
I'm not, and again, I'm super not worried about spoilers. I'm just worried about the content you
I
guys
think it
have to
kind of
present.
works well because we started this season with Veronica and ending it with you. Both a little bit. There was her first episode she ever watched of Strange New Worlds, so I think this will work. I think we should go roll with it.
I think it
Yeah.
will.
I'm very excited to hear your thoughts on the 3 episodes you haven't seen, though, because there's some episodes.
Yeah, those 3 episodes are like, there's a
Okay.
lot that happens in those 3 episodes. So.
Roller coaster.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I'm very pumped, both about, when you meet somebody and you're like, oh, you haven't seen these yet? I'm jealous of you. I get to be that person with
Yeah.
myself.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah,
very
exactly.
We have whole podcasts about
Yeah.
that, like,
We
Yep.
sure do.
specifically. So
Oh, boy.
All
Okay.
right. Well, we'll
Chaos.
get into it. But first, stay tuned, listeners. At the end of the show, once we've all said our goodbyes, we have a bunch of promos. People are asking what Open Pike Night is doing now that the season is over with no foreseeable season in sight for season 3. We have some news and some updates for the direction we'll be heading with Open Pike Night. So stick around till the last music plays, please.
That's right. Most
That's very exciting.
podcasts would tell you right now they'd spend the next 5-10 minutes of your time telling you, but we trust you to keep listening after Alice says goodbye to listen to us tell you what's coming up because there's really cool stuff. So
I'll try to direct their attention to and not be like, stop listening now. Bye. When I leave.
I know that's
But
your
it's tempting.
yeah, that's
It's tempting now that you said that.
that's in your nature.
Oh, yeah. All right. So we'll get into it with our first call. We have Platty returning to the Open Pike Night stage for episode 10.
Hey there, this is Platy-M3 with my hits, shits, and misses. Hits? Woohoo, Scotty! He was played really well. Also, love the Ortega scenes, when she said break in case of Gorn, because I was cracking up. It was literally a big case. Sorry, Pike, that wasn't really a crate-size thing. And of course, her flying and ribbing Pike about once being a test pilot, and he's all looking uncomfortable with her maneuver. Shits? Hey, we're going to repeat one here. Scotty, the character was totally unnecessary. Pelia, who we've barely seen this season, could have been in the neighboring system or just flew over with Nurse Chapel, and she could have done the cool things. We went from 1 James Kirk episode in season 1 to 3 season 2. Hope we're not going to triple again and get 9 of him next season. Are we going to get 3 Scotty episodes next season and then a first-year cadet check-off in the season 3 finale? Please, network executives and showrunner, whoever makes the call, just let the show breathe on its own with its own cast. Wait till the very end to bring everybody in. Mrs. Hey, did I miss the story reason for Spock having to repeat, no human can do this, it must be me, multiple times? I mean, I get it from the story reason, but in universe, he didn't really do super complicated Vulcan-only things. And did I miss where Sam Kirk was invited to the senior staff meeting? All right, this was a new world, but not really that strange, or it was just like familiar and old. Season 1, episode 10 gets my nod over season 2, episode 10.
All right. Platty, thank you for calling in. So yeah, normally we would hold off on Scotty's appearance until later on, but I decided this time we'll shake it up and we'll talk about him right out of the gate.
I wish
You saw during that announcement, I was like losing my
I was watching. I was going to tell you, feel free to be verbal with your reactions when things
Okay,
get
I'm going to be
spoiled,
verbal
yeah.
next time because you guys were just laughing at seemingly nothing, but I was just making mind blown references with my face.
That's right. Scotty appears in the season finale.
and
Yeah.
he's played, strangely enough, by a Scottish actor, which I think is a great step
Nearly
forward.
a violation.
Yeah. I mean, he does have
I mean,
all of his fingers, too. I've seen a couple people actually complain about that, and I did not engage because I couldn't help it.
That's a violation of the Roddenberry contract.
Yeah, exactly.
No one can have their original accent except Picard.
And not every movie or show is The Prestige. Fingers aren't just getting lopped off just because, guys. Come on.
That was not my favorite movie. But I gotta say, like, right when Scotty showed up, he goes, "You're not Gorn." And I still didn't pick up that it was Scotty, right? I was like, oh, what a fun character. And then, like, 2 seconds later, I was like, wait a minute. And this is the second episode that Open Pike Night has got to watch together in person ever. So
That's awesome.
we watched it in Star Trek in Las Vegas at Star Trek Las Vegas on a big projector on our hotel room wall. And it was, you guys, how fun was that?
It was super fun.
Absolutely.
And it was our screener. So I got to go the next day and get the last autograph on our apron from Dan Janot. And his one-word spoiler, his one-word tease came from this episode. So I got to share a few moments of saying, hey, Shang-Dai, I get it. And he was like, wait, that doesn't air. I'm like, oh yeah, we got screeners. Yeah.
I'm so, can I get one of those portals from the crossover app so I can go back and go to the con with you guys? Because that sounds so epic.
Man, it was epic.
So amazing.
Alice, we had a...
I'd probably relapse though. So.
We had a community viewing in the suite of one of our friends of episode 9. I will not spoil that one for you, but that was also hugely fun. I think watching Star Trek with other Trekkies is definitely the way to go. But
it's the greatest thing that can happen. When they re-released the next gen on Blu-ray with the recut original 35 mil, I went to a United Artists Theater in Hollywood and there was a screening of it, and of course it was like barely full, just Trekkies, and everybody was just like, hey, just like so rad.
Hey,
so
Barbie.
Cool to be around other Trekkies. Hi Barbie, hi Barbie, hi Barbie. It was amazing. And we were just like, oh, you want some of my caramel corn? Oh, you got caramel corn. It was just like the greatest vibes.
There is nothing better. And I hear Platty when he says let the show cast breathe. I agree with that.
Yes.
But like this performance, you guys, I am so happy to have this man as Scotty. I believe his name is Martin Quinn, and I'm just over the moon because
Googling.
It was so much fun. And to see that Pelia has another student who's very talented but not great at schoolwork is like she's the perfect professor for that, right?
Also to see Pelia give Una crap for...
If you had answered like that, I would have given you an A+.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
apparently she passes out A+ for destroying Federation property,
Pretty
is
much.
what she was saying.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, man, bravo to Martin Quinn for sitting on this for a year plus.
Seriously.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, that
I know. That's amazing to have to do
Yeah.
that. I mean, I'm so excited to see this. And more Carol Kane is always great.
Yeah,
100%.
For me, I'm so glad that she's a part of this situation now.
And along those lines of the long game, like having Dan Janot last year give us a tease for this episode, like, well done, Mr. Sam Kirk. Thank you so much.
Yeah, way to wait till the very end. Yep.
So 2 things in response to his voicemail that I can respond to. I think it's really difficult for those people that are in charge, the higher ups at Star Trek Industries, to decide when to do fan service and when to hold back.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's been instances recently, obviously in Picard, where we can see where fan service kind of saved a franchise. And then, of course, there's instances where it's just like the Lower Decks is all fan service in this fun format. But then there's other times when, it's like, we've got something here we don't need to violate with. Maybe violate is a strong word, but we don't need to. And I think he's right that Strange New Worlds already has compelling characters because it is already people were aware of the IP, like Pike existed already, Nurse Chapel existed already. We don't need, and we've got such good, strong characters that haven't existed already that already relate. So it's like, we don't need maybe 9 Kirks, but
I like your math, Platty.
And the second thing is, I know he was like worried about that specific number. 9 Kirks, it's bad numerology. It is. But I prefer Sam Kirk.
Yes.
To the James Kirk. I love Sam.
Love Sam.
Very much. So I'm excited that he plays a part. So
Yeah.
I agree a lot with Platty. I really liked, the one James Kirk season, and maybe not even like the actual James Kirk, but an alternate version. And then we got a lot of them. And even though I'm starting to like the performance more, it is like, does he need to be here?
Yeah, that wasn't supposed to be what this was.
And when Scotty shows up, the moment he started talking, unlike Jesse, and I'm surprised it took Jesse a beat because I'm pretty sure I went, the second this accent left his mouth. But I was like, oh, Scotty. And then like within 2 sentences, though, he had me sold. I was like, oh, this is Scotty. And yeah, I think if he's here this episode and next episode and then has to go do something, I think that'll be fine. I will say Pelia did have stuff to do this episode. She did help her like figure out their plan. And it looks like her and Scotty are going to work together next episode. So as long as like, yeah, Pelia keeps having something to do, I'm okay with Scotty being here as well.
Yeah.
And
yeah. And we'll jump into what we think might happen in season 3, episode 1 a little bit later, because I have some thoughts.
Me too, and I shouldn't.
I want to hear Alice's thoughts.
I have there's no reason for me to have thoughts.
All right. Well, let's hear from another caller who definitely has thoughts. Here is Michelle, returning to the Open Pike Night stage.
Hey, Open Pike Night. So how about that cliffhanger, huh? That's right. I'm bringing the screaming goat into this because, man, just pay the actors, pay the writers. Let's get back to it so we can get some closure on this thing. I did enjoy the episode, the VFX team, the soundtrack, the acting, the writing. It was all wonderfully done and very cinematic. I did have some issues, particularly with the plot with Chapel. We knew she was going to be fine. It was great to see her and Spock kind of coming together, beating the Gorn, but no one thought to look for other crew members on the saucer section. Like, just RIP everybody on the Cayuga, and, you know, okay, it was an ingenious idea, though. Also, Ortegas, yeah, she had a great idea. She's piloting the ship, but we need to see more of the characters that we have before we introduce other characters like Scotty, who I adored. And I love the actor. I thought he did a great job. I'm glad he was important to the plot. But, we just need to deep dive the ones that are original. I hear that and I appreciate that, even though I was hoping it was going to be McCoy because he's my favorite. So, you know, I'm very torn. But overall, I also love that Pike is kind of on the same trajectory as Kirk maybe was in the episode Arena from TOS. I did rewatch that before watching this episode, and I think we may be getting to those themes, those who are concerned about the Gorn and how they're being portrayed. It's going to be a long wait. You guys have given us an awesome season, and my Crusher connection, there's 2. The inoculations, right? They're on the planet inoculating people, so medical mission. And also, I think Gates McFadden would have loved the puppetry of the Gorn. I would love to see her behind the scenes directing or whatnot. So it's been a great season. I can't wait to see what's next year. I'm sure we're going to do stuff during this extra long hiatus. Until then, live long and prosper.
All right, Michelle.
Great, Michelle. Now I can't get the idea of like a Jim Henson-esque musical featuring the Gorn choreographed by Gates McFadden.
That'd be
just
fantastic.
David Bowie thrusting his
I'm
crotch
here
in the
for that.
Gorn faces.
Yeah.
Well, especially now that we have a smart Gorn. Now that we have, we got introduced to a new version of the Gorn in this episode. We've seen the juveniles, and now we get to see, I don't know, who are we calling this? Like 20-something Gorn, older teenager. I mean, smart enough to try and hack into a computer, but dumb enough not to be able to hack into a computer. So
he was just trying old codes,
Yeah.
I think. Like they had a list of codes they had intercepted. So don't blame the Gorn,
Okay.
John.
We're saying not smart like Ian McKellen's Gandalf wisdom. We're saying just like the Velociraptors
like the
Smart
Velociraptor.
enough,
in
smart enough to wear a spacesuit. That's what we know
Smart
about
enough
them.
to be in
Yeah.
hard vacuum trying to access a computer using codes. So, yeah.
Did it have liquid in the
Just
mask? Was it
slightly
pulling an
smarter than
abyss?
me.
Ooh, I don't think so.
I don't think so, because, again, spoiler here, Alice, when Spock pierces the helmet with that piece of shrapnel, it really feels like a depressurization and not like a spilling of...
But it wouldn't be like the water would evaporate and turn
Yeah,
into that
yeah.
steam, right? So I'm pretty sure
Possible.
there's like
Again,
water
you guys are
sloshing
such
around.
good people. You do not have to say spoiler because it's not a spoiler for the fans, and that's what this is for. And I'm the one who fucked up, so don't worry about me.
we appreciate
And
that.
because honestly, the less you say, if you don't say spoiler, it might not file in my brain. So I'll
there you
like,
go.
have this one fun Easter egg later.
So
We will act as if.
Yeah. How did you guys
Act
feel
as
about
if.
the 0G battle with that? Between
Oh, wow.
I
I
It
was
was
so
a really
happy.
cool
it
zero
was
G
a
battle.
good 0G battle.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
And it's like almost entirely practical effects. Like I don't
Right.
always watch the Ready Room because I kind of want that job, and it makes me a little bit like bitter to watch it. But this Ready Room has like a 35-minute segment on the practical effects and the company that created the Gorn. It is a dude in a suit. Like, I love that because it's a great homage to original Trek. And I gotta mention, Michelle, I feel like there was some kind of scanning for life signs for a moment maybe on the Cayuga, but you're right that the pacing of this, and that scan may have failed, but the pacing on this episode is such that it's like it's all moving forward, right?
Yeah.
And shout out to Dr. Fern Riddell. Yes, we did get to see Spock and Chapel holding hands, but did anybody else notice that they were doing that in front of a literal burning bridge?
Yeah.
Like, is there like, is there any symbolism there? Maybe
maybe a little bit. But yeah, I'm gonna make the call. They killed 17 survivors with that plan. 17. What's your numbers?
Yeah, there are definitely survivors who died. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean,
High teens.
Look, if you want to survive, don't sign up to work on the Cayuga. If they assign you the Cayuga, get a transfer. You're not going to live through the battle. Come on.
If your captain is in love with a guy whose fate is sealed, get a new captain.
Yeah.
Babe, check it out. Just do the bare minimum, right? Of research.
Doesn't know.
Is my captain in love with a man whose fate is sealed?
True.
These are things you can find out in the 24th century. You know what I'm saying? Information's out there. Do your own research.
You guys, Alice, just like Veronica, is so much cooler than we are. This is going to be quite an episode.
All I'm doing is truncating my words.
I know, that's all it takes.
I sound cool because I'm truncating.
But I will say, after a second viewing of this episode, I'm nearly certain that Battelle is going to survive. Because they spend a lot of time like referencing episode 9 of season 1, right? And they're going, our scanners couldn't find him. Pike just goes, now they do. It's like, well, our phasers were ineffective. Now they are.
I know.
And they have those really cool nitrogen grenades that we didn't get to see yet. And like Mbenga has all this additional, work that he's done. Christine specifically is all about genetics. Scotty is there to work a miracle. Like, they're going to save Battelle.
Transport buffer. Yeah. You've got all the time you need. Like,
use her last pattern. Use the pattern from that she used to get down.
You did it with your It's almost like there's too many ways to save her. Right?
Oh, I love that you guys are clinging to like these in-universe ways. Like, oh, look, they've established like this this tool or something that could be used to do. And meanwhile, I'm just like, the writers have already killed someone off this way. Like, the last main character who died this way. They're not going to kill the next main character in the exact same ways. Battelle's fine. They might not be an item after this. There might be some I can't put you in danger Spider-Man moment, but the relationship might be dead.
Hard moment.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Nella Darren.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, I do love.
I will tell you about my flute, but I can't do it.
I've said that to so many women.
I'm sorry. Exactly. Closest you're going to get is flute. No one else has seen flute.
That's true.
She's like, aren't you supposed to tell the whole universe about the flute? Because it seems like that's what they asked you to do.
Yeah.
I gotta go. This is why I can't get close to people.
Not this universe. Just relax. And really quickly to Michelle and Platty's point about the legacy characters, did you guys see a little bit of a moment of recognition on Scotty's face when La'an introduced herself with her last name? Like, I feel like he went, and then looked to whoever was introducing themselves next.
I'd have to go back and watch that again. Yeah.
Oh,
it was either a moment or it was Scotty recognizing that's a lot of lieutenants.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was that. Yeah. And I do agree, like, Chapel and Spock finding themselves on the Cayuga ship, a little contrived, but I went with it. We knew it was going to happen, so I went with it. It's fine.
Yeah. And I do agree. It's like, Spock wasn't doing anything that anybody on that crew couldn't have done. I'm like, you just did an EVA and planted some thrusters. That's all you did, man.
And zero gravity. He didn't even need his Vulcan strength.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm that guy, it's possible that he meant I'm the only one in this meeting who can do that because you've been told to stay, you've been told to go. Pike is going to lead it. Like, he may have been doing a process of elimination thing combined with a little bit of, Vulcan gaslighting.
Well, we know he's good at that.
I do, but with this EVA, did his devices need that many lights on them? Aren't they trying to hide from the Gorn? Everything he's wearing and carrying has lights all over it.
That
Okay.
And when Chapel flashed her flashlight, I was like, oh, that's going to attract a ship, right?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't, but I was like,
Oh, that's frustrating.
you can't do that. Like,
Well, she
but
doesn't
was
know,
pointing
and
it
was only in the direction.
I hate that kind of thing when you establish something, because it's like you are a show that does, like, when we like this show obsessively, like, isn't there a okay, I'm gonna finish a sentence at some point. Isn't there an episode of Star Trek in some franchise where they talk about why there's sounds when we see ships in space?
Oh.
Like, I feel like there's something that talks about like other ships hearing sounds, or maybe it's just I made this up. But anyway, it's just the kind of show where you could believe something like that happening, because
Right.
we over justify every choice. And so then when they say something like, oh, the Gorn, they can see lights, and then it's like, it's like, just make it be something else.
Right.
You can visually represent your actors. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, and
it's just like, don't just automatically violate.
they do have her like bang on the window. I'm like, that's enough, because no, Spock wouldn't hear that. Like that makes enough sense to me. And here's my quick fix. Maybe the construction of a warp bubble includes some kind of subspace atmosphere that lets sounds be heard.
Right. Or like, do the ships, like, if you're watching it, are you watching it from the perspective of like in ship, even though it's a camera? I don't know, whatever.
Right.
Shut up. Al.
It's like electric
I'm
cars
leaving.
where they put
I'm
the
leaving.
fake sounds on to make sure they can be heard, kind of deal.
That's right. It feels like something they'd say, like, well, the Federation decided we should have like little sound effects.
I want that job.
Yeah.
I want to be on that committee.
Sound designer for Star Trek.
Yeah, for the Federation.
That's what Elon's working on now.
Oh, never mind.
Right now. They're like, sir, please stop spending money.
All right, let's hear from our next caller on stage. Here's Newman returning.
Hello, Open Pike Night. Newman the Space Hippie here from the Movies for Days podcast. Oh my goodness, this episode left me with so many feelings. First and foremost, I feel like I need to call my dad and tell him I finally understand what he went through when Picard became a frickin' Borg, and then it just flashed to be continued. I was on the edge of my seat in that final moment, because Pike always knows what to do, and even when he doesn't, he knows how to ask for constructive suggestions. He was frozen, and Una is like, Captain, what are your orders? And I swear to God, I'm on my couch going, yeah, Captain, what are your orders? Come on, dude. And I just wasn't watching the time code, and the to be continued title card shocked me off my seat, and I yelled at the screen. So I kind of loved everything about the episode. The only critique I have was at the beginning when it's like, oh, this planet looks like a Midwestern city. I'm like, okay, jolly good. That's the excuse we're using. But I know that's for budget reasons. I don't care. Everything else was so good. I was like, I shouldn't be complaining at all. So my question to all of you is, what do you do when you've got no more new Star Trek? What is your plan between now and what I'm sure is going to be a season 3? I just love what you guys do. Live long and prosper. Newman the Space Hippie, out.
All right, Newman, thank you.
Oh, Newman. Newman.
Yes.
That's good. That's good TV. That's how you know it's good TV, when the end credits hit and you aren't expecting them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it shocks you out of your
I feel
seat.
so bad, because during season 1, I kept asking, like, do you guys think they'll end this on a cliffhanger? Wouldn't that be great if they ended it on a cliffhanger? And now I'm like, I can't wait 2 years for this. Like, I need the AMPTP to pull their heads out of their collective Netflix-funded asses and please pay these people, because I need this next episode so bad.
Maybe A24 will pick up the
There we
slack.
go. Star Trek A24. Oh, man.
Yeah.
I would watch that.
So dark. Like,
Yeah.
oh God.
If you thought Picard had
God.
dark lighting,
Yeah,
you just wait
yeah,
till
exactly.
you get A24 Star Trek.
We get a lot of mentions of Best of Both Worlds in that cliffhanger in our calls today. And it's like, we had to wait 3 months. Also, Newman calling his dad. It's like, chill, Newman. Some of us watched it and weren't, we were kids when this came out. But
Some of us weren't.
Yes, it's that was 3 months, and that was a long time. And we are at minimum, what, 15, 16 months out? Like at
I would
very best
say
case
at
scenario?
least 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
But yeah.
So we are in for a very long wait. And yeah.
I mean, okay, but think about this. There was a long wait between the end of TOS and Next Gen. How many years was that?
Too many.
Like,
27.
Are we just erasing the animated series in the movies,
well, that's the thing.
Alice?
There was someone who came along and was like, Star Trek is still alive. This world is still alive. Let's do it. And made an animated series. So like, all I'm saying is like, don't worry. Star Trek will always be here. Star Trek fans will always be here. There's a new crop of fans because of these shows that are on Paramount Oops now. So it's like, you know, I know it's a long time to wait, but I'm just sticking up for the studios. Do you know what I mean? They need the money. They've got a plan. Look, they've got a plan.
Won't somebody please think of the studios?
Somebody has to be at the top.
Anyone who can put together
right?
Paramount Oops.
Like the most creative, smartest, highest producing people are always at the top.
I might not know why to see the next episode of a show, you have to wait till 10 seconds exactly before. And if you don't hit next episode, but you hit somewhere else by accident, it takes you back to the main title screen. I might not understand that. But that's because I'm not in charge because I'm an idiot. These people know. All right. Anyway, yeah, fuck those.
Oh, man. Okay, but
Hey,
I had
live,
something.
Jacob, thanks for signing up for our Patreon.
Oh, very cool. Thanks,
Oh,
Jacob.
wow. Nice. Thanks,
Go
Jake.
ahead.
Yeah.
Cliffhanger. Yeah, I thought it was really well done. I remember watching it, as Jesse had said last episode. I'm thinking no notes. I mean, there's like the little why are there so many lights, but I don't care about that stuff. No notes, basically. And then I was like, this end is a little fast. They kind of all got saved a little fast. Not really looking again at the time code like Newman. And you know, they start going, What's your order, Captain? What's your order? I'm like, oh shit, it's going to be a cliffhanger. And then they very smartly like cut to a wide shot and have Pike like start making a decision and like, oh, okay, not a cliffhanger. And then they pull the cliffhanger. Like they really like, it was a really good kind of sleight of hand with that. And I think it made that to be continued even more impactful that they held it just a few seconds longer than they would have back in Best of Both Worlds days.
And I wonder if him not saying a line is a direct callback to Best of Both Worlds with one of the most famous lines of Star Trek being said. Like, yeah, just don't say anything and then to be continued is as impactful.
And there were two little details that I just admittedly missed on the first watch when we were in Vegas, which was the different transporter color for the colonists. Didn't see that. And then when you hear Pike order them to transport up the colonists, you immediately get the transport failed sound. But it's very quick, and then they go to a line. So you like, if you're not like looking for it, you may just not hear it.
Oh, that whole sleight of hand was also, really well done. Because you see the colonists beam away, then you see the other crew appear, and then you hear Pike say like, oh yeah, beam up the colonists. And someone says, okay. And you're like, I didn't even think, wait, didn't we already see them beam up?
Right.
Like, it was all really well done.
Yeah.
Very fast.
Yeah.
Now, I got to say, Newman, thank you for asking what we do when there is no new Star Trek, because the first answer is reel. I'm reeling with no direction. I watch this episode again a couple times. That's the first thing I do. And last night, as I was telling the guys, I couldn't help myself. I opened up Star Trek Timelines, and guess what? They're having an Elysian Kingdom event. So I was like, I guess I'm going to play Star Trek Timelines. And the other thing that I do, of course, is visit any Trek I haven't seen. So last night I watched TOS's The Immunity Syndrome, which is about a space amoeba. And I'm working my way through TOS. I'm loving it, honestly.
I mean, who's out there saying, what are we going to do? There's no more. You better have watched all of Enterprise.
Right? Exactly.
That's
I haven't done
that's what I'm doing right now, is making my way through Enterprise.
You haven't watched all of Enterprise.
I specifically am not hot on Enterprise. I'm not unwilling to watch it, but I would like to finish TOS and then probably DS9, and then I'll jump to Enterprise.
You haven't finished DS9?
Yeah. Neither has Cameron. Be mad at him too.
But
I'm gonna be mad at him too.
But I have a podcast about it. The DS9 Minute.
I don't give a
Tune
shit.
in, listen to our thoughts on DS9 in 9 minutes.
Yeah, 100%. And also, I love the fact that there's just, there's so much. There's a lot of other sci-fi that's influenced by Star Trek to watch too. And it's a good time that we all should have to reflect on this universe that has brought so many people to
Yeah.
that has brought so many
Ooh, I
people
like
together. And, I mean, there's like 25, probably the other thing to your listener, I don't think they're subscribed to Treks in the City. Okay,
I was going to say, that's
along with us.
That's how I'll be spending my time, is listening to Treks in the City.
I mean, and the other thing is, look, maybe you should be more like me, who isn't even done with Strange New Worlds, because I thought I was.
How do you know you even called
That's
about the
my
right
advice to you,
episode,
man.
Newman? What the yeah?
Yeah, dude, how do you know you're not done? You can't be 100% sure with Paramount News.
That would be actually a good streaming
I'm so
shtick.
sorry.
We never
I
know.
think
You'll never know when we stop airing a season. We don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll make another episode.
I think we can safely say we have our episode title this week, you guys.
Yes, I will say, speaking of other sci-fi shows and Newman's comment on the Midwestern American cosplay colony, because of that and many other factors, this episode felt very Firefly to me.
Yes.
Which maybe I'll go back and rewatch some of that during this downtime. But yeah, I mean, the Gorn are very Reaver-like. They're on the edge of space with this weird Midwestern, Western vibe with the colonies. Lots of hijinks, very Firefly-like hijinks from the captain and the crew.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like the 60s Midwestern town is not a shot at TOS, but like a love letter, right? Like every planet they go to is like, this is like if Earth was 1948. Here's if it was 1956. Here's if, like, I'm totally here for it. And you can see where the budget went in this episode.
Yeah.
So
Was there like a golden oldies, like scourge across the galaxy? Remember those commercials that was like, these are the oldies? Somehow those got projected and like beamed.
Oh, yeah.
Well, because they said that like they had
interdimensionally.
they mentioned they formed their colony based on mid-century Middle America. Like it said in the opening monologue from Patel that like, yeah, that's just how they formed their colony. It's like, okay, well, I guess that saves on a planet set. So.
it seems like in the Star Trek universe, if you're a Federation citizen, all you have to do to get your own colony is 1, ask, and B, or 2, have a theme, right? Like, because we know like the Hesperians are a Renaissance fair styled planet. So it's like, I need to see the application form for starting
these
your
guys
own
aren't
Federation
Federation.
colony.
Exactly. Strong
They say that
theme.
specifically.
Strong theme.
They are Federation citizens. They are outside of Federation space.
That's right. Okay.
It's a planet. Okay, it's going to be a planet. Everybody on the planet is a beauty influencer. Federation's like, strong theme.
But who will
All right,
follow?
strong theme.
If they're all influencers, who could
The rest of the galaxy.
everybody on the moon probably of that planet? Yeah.
The moon. There's less people on the moon. Honestly, we're inundated with beauty tips.
They put all the podcasters on the moon.
Oh,
They put the podcasters on the moon, and the podcasters kill themselves because
God, this sounds really familiar.
too
There is
much
a sci-fi
beauty.
show episode that is not far off from this, and I can't remember what it is. It's not Sliders. There is an episode.
like you don't have to wander far.
there is an episode.
Was it an Orville?
Yes, it was an Orville episode. Yeah,
It
that's
was an
right.
Orville.
They did do. Okay,
Okay.
maybe I should watch that too.
there you go.
Yeah, I might watch some Orville during this hiatus.
Speaking of Orville, we missed a lot of Orville Day at Las Vegas.
There was an Orville Day at the
There was
con?
like I think Saturday, like afternoon.
Yeah, one of the days,
Sunday.
like most of the cast was there. They had panels. It was.
Interesting.
I was like, is this okay? But everybody seemed to be happy with it, so I'm gonna back off.
But who we didn't miss was our new friend and our next caller, Aaron.
Hey guys, it's Aaron F. Bruce Lyon. Recording this the day after the season finale, and I just want to say what a season that it was. You had episodes like the Lower Decks crossover and the musical episode, which shouldn't have worked, but 100% did, and they were lighthearted and fun. And then you have this season finale that has all of these stakes and is a continuation of everything that we've seen with the Gorn, and it's just true sci-fi horror. And my wife and I, as we're watching it, we noticed that everybody who's on the the landing party isn't from the original series, so we're just like, okay, who might we lose? Please, don't take Ortegas, and please don't take Dr. Mbanga. It was just such an intense episode, and with that cliffhanger, I literally yelled, "What?" as soon as it was over. I now get to know what everyone felt like watching that first episode of Best of Both Worlds. And I'm not looking forward to how long that we're going to have to wait until we get season 3. But what an amazing season, and I can't wait to hear what you guys think. Hope that you're doing well, and take care.
Okay, I'm going to jump in.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Because I have things. I have ideas. I am sorry. I'm so rude as a guest who hasn't watched the episode.
It's great.
Listen. Okay, I'm jumping in. Every time I like something really affects me that I watch, media-wise, I want to listen to as much stuff about it as possible from people, right? Like after Andor, I was like, I want to listen to every Tony Gilroy, everything I can. We just finished Better Call Saul, and I was like, I got to hear everything. So how about this? I'll watch it, the three remaining episodes, and we could do Patreon only eps for each other's, maybe.
Okay,
I like it
because I just need to see it, and I just am so excited about it now.
I cannot wait to hear your thoughts on these.
Seriously,
because I'm like everything they just casually dropping musical only episode, and I'm like,
did you know about the musical episode, Alice?
No,
no.
I don't. I don't know where. Yeah, my TikTok algorithm is not about this stuff. I was like, once the Montgomery Brawl happened, it's only Brawl content.
For like chairs everywhere.
Chairs. So I don't get any Star Trek stuff. But yeah, that's the plan. Anyway, go ahead with your thoughts. I just had to suggest that.
Okay, I will throw out that yes, Mbenga is on the Gorn ship, but what do we know that Mbenga always carries with him to Christine's possible whatever the word is.
Chagrin.
It's not detriment. Chagrin, thank you. So we know that he is there, probably has some of that on him.
Yep.
We know that Ortegas is a war veteran, okay? She's fought Klingons before. The Gorn are probably more intense than Klingons, but
they have no honor.
They brought all that anti-Gorn stuff down to the planet with them, so there's a possibility that the Gorn, in their haste to abduct, which is a great name for an album somewhere.
Haste to abduct!
Are you sure you're not actually a death metal singer and not a podcaster? Because that was really good.
It's hard to say.
The range on Alice, folks.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone who can play 3 different Romulans in one episode.
I feel like they really narrowed me down, too. I was like trying to go. I was like, this one kind of has a backstory. And they're like, you're in it for 2 seconds. I was like, all right.
They're triplets. It's fine. They may have beamed up all that anti-Gorn technology with the away team. And I trust this away team to be resourceful and take action, etc. But yeah, I mean, as soon as I started thinking about all the people on that ship, I was like, oh, please don't kill anybody.
Yeah.
We had the line from Ortegas where she's like, talking about, she does her Christine impression, and Mbenga goes, that's a good impression. And she goes, she does a better impression of me. And I'm like, as soon as this was over, I asked the guys, I was like, what if Ortegas sacrifices herself to save Christine? I don't even want to say that.
You know what that would do, though? That would make Ortegas a war hero, like Boimler pointed out in the crossover episode.
I know, and I can't deal with it even a little bit.
Oh,
I think she's already a war
think she
hero
is
from
too,
the
but
Klingon War.
I do think he was talking about the Gorn War, not the Klingon War. So
definitely possible. And I'm not going to stop watching if they get rid of Erica, but I am going to be deeply affected, and I may go on like a week or 2 break if that happens.
Dude, totally.
I do wonder if that was like the original plan, and then everyone started loving Ortegas, and they're like, maybe we don't kill her off just yet.
I mean, if only we were sitting down and talking to the showrunners in a couple of weeks, and we could show them proof of how popular Erica Ortegas is. Yeah.
Oh, wait.
They will be questioned about that. I do think if they were planning to kill her off, we would have gotten like some really big Ortegas episodes these last couple.
Right,
La'an seems to have just completed a character
Ortega
arc.
But they haven't.
Yeah, crap. La'an didn't she? Yeah.
Good point, Cameron.
Yes.
In fact, I
Bruce
completed an arc in such a way that she is no longer a romantic interest also.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Aaron, very good to hear from you from the Bruce line to the podcast line. Thank you for calling in. Yes, what I loved about this episode is that I like that the stakes weren't too big. Like, they were big enough that it felt important to the overall story, but really most of the stakes were very character driven and emotional based, and right where the stakes should be. I cared so much more about the resolution of this episode than, say, like if there's some big universe ending, more than the end of Discovery Season 2. I'm just going to say it. Like, these stakes were perfectly placed.
It's very parallel to the Best of Both Worlds stakes, you know, to that point, because it's like, yes, the Borg are a huge threat, but no, it's not like if this doesn't get solved right now, everyone you've ever heard of is dead, right?
Right.
Like,
they're not at our solar system yet.
Right.
Jesse, earlier you were talking about bubblegum. Mabinga carries bubblegum around that Chapel really bothers her when he's snapping it, right?
It's caffeinated bubblegum.
Oh, the worst.
So, yeah. Gets him really stimulated.
This is going to be a discussion for over a year to come of who on the party, is everybody going to make it? Are all the colonists going to make it? Or who's, this is going to be a big question.
I think everyone's going to make it. Maybe Pelia.
Oh.
Just so they can stick with the new engineer every season.
Yeah.
But again, I think we would have gotten more backstory from her recently. Like, we would have figured out what's going on between her and Spock's mom.
Yeah, there's a lot of loose threads there.
Maybe Lon, but I think everyone's safe for the premiere.
Yeah, we have a long wait and see, and like we said, we will talk to the showrunners and make sure they understand just how much people love Melissa Navia.
They better get it.
Nobody loves Melissa Navia more than we do. Let's just throw that out there.
Her parents might object, but
they might. But I'm willing to have them on the show.
No. Oh, man. See, that's what we'll do. We'll get all of the actors' parents on the show because they aren't members of SAG or the WGA. Well, maybe some of them are, but
we found a way.
Yeah. I guess maybe not Celia's, but yeah. Exactly. All right. Well, let's hear from our next caller, Marcy, returning to the Open Pike Night stage.
Oh, yay.
Hey, Open Pike, it's Marcy, just calling in about the most recent episode. First off, we have to discuss Anson Mount's amazing coif, not goif, Jesse, coif. And again, it is defying gravity. And Andrew, my husband, made this joke about maybe he has had somebody make a specific anti-gravity coif device to put in his hair so that he doesn't have to worry about when he goes in a drop ship down to a planet with Erica flying the ship, his hair getting out of place. I mean, even when he was fighting Gorn, and, those curls came a little bit loose, but they were still up in the air. I told Andrew I was going to use it as a joke here on this clip, and he basically said, I can't. There's a writer's strike. Guys, I totally support the writer's strike, but it's been going on so long. We still have to make jokes about it, right? Anyway, it was a great episode. Felt very Aliens again. If you listen to the proximity sensor that's beeping, it sounds exactly like the beeping from Aliens. The moment both Nurse Chapel and Captain Battelle were in the Gorn crisis together, I knew, I was waiting. Which one of these women is going to get iceboxed? Well, we know it's probably not going to be Nurse Chapel, so sorry, Battelle.
Right,
okay, couple things here, Marcy. I am not the person to call out for the goif thing. I fought for about a week straight asking to get that font changed so that it would clearly read as quaff.
It's quaff, right? Yeah, it's quaff.
Yes, it's quaff, by the way. So I love you, Marcy, and I'm glad that we can have this back and forth here.
I think Jesse's trying to gaslight us, John.
I think so, too. Yeah.
What do you take? That happened. I will show you the Discord
We'll discuss
chat.
this after. Yeah, we'll pull up the receipts.
So I do really like, though, that Marcy is noting all of the different little devices that they use to call back other sci-fi, right? We know from our interviews with writers that is intentional, and that is something that they take great pride in. And this episode, I think probably if you watched like season 1, episode 9, and then this episode, it makes a great duology, right? So what, only 4 more to go until we have enough Alien movies to fill it out? 2 more to go?
We're not counting
I don't
Alien
remember.
versus Predator. No, that does not count on
Well,
this
then we're also not counting Prometheus, so.
shit. Boy, if they make a Star Trek version of Prometheus, woof.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But as we said, Marcy, I really don't think Patel is going to bite the dust here. I mean, we could definitely be wrong. Maybe they save her and then she gets killed by something else, like, I don't know, a falling saucer section or something.
How did they survive that?
Yeah.
Right, yeah. I mean,
That's
well, they
maybe
were,
my biggest bump. It's like,
yeah, because the shuttle
you
was
kind of
pretty
ex-
close to that. Yeah.
yeah, and you see the flames enter the shuttle like that. That saucer was coming right towards them.
Yeah, it was a little hand wavy, but again, the pacing makes me okay with all of it.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have any complaints when we watched it the first time. I didn't have any complaints when I watched it the second and third time either. But Marcy, you got to call in more. You've got great calls. I really
Good
appreciate
takes.
you calling, even if you're calling me out.
Call me
Especially when
personally.
you're calling just I think Patel's still safe. I did just learn that the term fridged or icebox comes from a Green Lantern comic from the 90s.
Yeah,
Did not
Kyle
know that.
Rayner's girlfriend was literally stuffed into a refrigerator. Like he becomes
Jesus.
Green Lantern and he comes home and it turns out somebody knows about it. It was pretty graphic.
Oof.
I did want to ask, speaking of Chapel and Patel on the planet, because they kind of give each other some knowing glances and words, and like, how much did those two talk about their Enterprise boy trouble?
So much.
So much.
Between Pike and Spock, like both of their exes, girlfriends, complication situationships, being on the same ship, traveling to the outer reaches of the Federation space. Like,
There are no secrets on the Cayuga.
But props, very big props then to the actual show for letting it pass the Bechdel test by not having them do that on camera.
There you go. There
they
you
had to
go.
talk about it. They had to talk about it. They kept it.
Just leave it subtext, yeah. And then I do love when Pike comes down and is like, hey, I, risked life and limb to save your life. And Patel's like, why the fuck did you come here? I did want to ask, did you guys ever do any like big romantic show of something and then just not get the reaction you were expecting?
of course.
Or felt it deserved?
Yeah.
I'm sure there are too many examples to pick one out. I'm sure is the problem I'm having here.
I love when I proposed to my wife, I was kneeling behind her on like a walk around Christmas, and she turned around and just panicked and said, put that away, and closed the lid, and it closed on her glove, and she couldn't get the ring box off her hand. And so now we have a funny little
You're like,
story.
this is a
about
metaphor
A beautiful
for how
moment.
I'm trapping you
That's right.
into a marriage. To not get out.
that. And then I think later I was
How
like,
apt.
so do you want to get married? She's like, yeah, of course. I was like, put on the fucking ring then.
Yeah, that's what that's for. Shout out to Minerva.
Yeah.
Minerva.
I think what they'll do is they'll just go with the classic solution in a zombie movie and just lop off her arm, and for some reason they won't regrow her a new one, so eventually she'll have like an eye patch too.
Right,
and
because she
become like
wants a
pirate.
reminder
Exactly,
of what
yeah.
she went through.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then she'll say,
And-
you could never love me, Pike. I'm a monster. How could you ever love something that looks like this?
He's like,
Pike would
you
just go,
chose it. Like,
Yeah. And maybe Pike could finally tell her that he knows his horrible burned future. Maybe.
oh yeah, maybe.
I've seen on social media some folks suggesting that because we know Pike to be a good man and a pretty good partner, he's just going to offer to adopt those Gorn babies. Right?
Yeah.
Like, okay,
Can you imagine?
this is the next step in our relationship. Let's take it
I
together.
mean, the bottle feeding
I love
alone.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Bottle feeding schedule is brutal.
He'll have like a Gorn baby apron, just pocket.
Totally
Yeah.
just like Boimler.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. In-universe fixes.
There we go. All right. Let's hear from our next caller, Grayson.
Hey, everybody. There's a lot I loved about this episode of Strange New Worlds, but this is a Pelia appreciation call, or more specifically, a Carol Kane appreciation call, because I think she absolutely nailed the best line of the show. And I'm hoping that, Alice, you can shed some light on how magic like this happens. I absolutely loved the way that Pelia reacts to Uhura's, quote, crazy theory. At first, it's almost like Pelia is annoyed in the scene or doesn't understand what's happening when Uhura approaches her for help with getting comms working again, which actually could be easy to understand because how does Uhura even find Pelia? Is she in engineering? No, she's recalibrating the deflector field conduits in some random hallway. But whatever. Here's where I hope Alice can shed some light on the process. Carol Kane could have played that for sarcasm, like eye roll. I love a crazy theory. Or, comedy. Oh, great. I love a crazy theory. Or exasperation. Another crazy theory. But instead, she gives it urgency and agency. She says, I love a crazy theory. And it's so good. So, Alice, was that a choice? How much discretion would Carol Kane have been given in that scene to interpret how Pelia would say those words? Okay, here's hoping that the studios come to their senses and give actors like Alice and Carol and Celia and writers like the guy who wrote this one, Henry Alonzo Myers, get what they deserve soon so that we can see part 2 of this cliffhanger.
First of all, thank you so much for mentioning me in the same sentence as Carol Kane. To even be considered in the same category as her. I'm like misty-eyed about it. And absolutely that was a choice. I didn't you're watching I haven't seen it yet. God.
But thankfully Grayson did a pretty good rendition of the scene.
Seriously, that was an amazing
tape
impression. But yeah. I think I'm willing to bet it was, in my experience, when an actor with the caliber and the just the resume of somebody like Carol Kane comes on your show, there's usually you defer to them in almost every circumstance. And knowing her portrayal of Pelia on this show, she is like, I could see her doing this without really knowing much about Star Trek or the like history or what other characters have done in similar situations, but it felt like what you were describing, she had an idea of what that, I think her trueness to her character, what I'm saying is like, she knows what her character is interested in. And it reminds me of the iconic, I love a mystery Data, from Picard, in that like Pelia is there to lend not only like levity to the show, but she's also there to lend that sort of wisdom and that sort of like, I'm somebody who's lived a long time. I probably know what's going to happen in a way that other people don't. And when she gives importance to something, it's really important. And so she doesn't have to do too much. I don't know. I'm just I'm gonna defer to her on this. I think that she probably is given a ton of discretion over her choices. Mm-hmm. Just knowing what she's done so far up to episode 8 or 7, which is all. But yeah, thank you for mentioning her and me in the same sentence. That's all I need to keep going.
Yeah, that was a great call. I mean, I appreciate him. We got to see the crew working together a lot in this. And so, yeah, Pelia and Uhura got to work together. Number one, everybody got their piece of the pie in this episode. That was a really nice to see for a finale, but also a cliffhanger finale.
And that's so, like, having just watched what I just watched, that's so reassuring to me because I know what Hammer meant to Uhura, right? And like the trauma that she has from losing that person that was kind of her mentor. And now it's really hard for Uhura to work with this person, knowing that there's a hole that has been filled. And it's great to see that because you're like, oh, they've got to work together. Look at them, like Pelia is the perfect new person in that circumstance. If you lost somebody that you were working under that you worshipped, you'd want Carol Kane to come and replace them if anybody had to.
And it's a great continuation of their moment from episode 6, where Pelia is like, you don't talk to me. Is there a reason for that? And it feels like Uhura, I mean, she says to her, like, hey, I'm going to make an effort. And then we see that happen. It's a great continuation of that.
I didn't even track that. That's a good point. That's good. Yeah. Yeah. Lots of really great, the crew brainstorming sessions going on. A lot of the competency porn we love. Love it all.
Yeah. I do like once again that we are reminded throughout this whole season with Pelia that she knows every one of these people already. Like she has she probably taught almost every person on the ship at some point. So
yeah, she's seen her records.
Like she has probably been what this ship so clearly needs, which is a ship's counselor since she got on board. Because holy crap, does this ship need a counselor?
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to our next call. Here is Jen.
Hey guys, this is Jen, also known as Season Girl. I thought the finale was pretty good. Nothing really surprised me, but I did shout Scotty as soon as I heard the guy speak. The new Gorn, or the grown-up Gorn, were pretty cool. I got some real Aliens movie vibes with the tracking beeper and the tails hanging from the ceiling. I did not pour one out for the Cayuga because the way the episode opened, all happy, I knew they were doomed. Scotty was pretty cool, but I do hope he's just a one-off. I'm thinking for resolution after this cliffhanger, which I swore profusely at when in the show ended. I think the Gorn might help save Battelle as part of some sort of diplomatic resolution. My favorite lines were "break in case of Gorn" and the whole zombie movie trick dialogue. Other thoughts, how about telling someone when you're leaving? You know, when they went to Scotty's shuttle, the three of them just walked off and didn't tell anybody. I thought it was funny that Ortega's finally got to leave the ship. I think we still need to have her war story, so hopefully season 3 will give us that at some point. Thanks for having me, and I hope we get some more Open Pike episodes, even though the season's done.
All right, Jen, thank you for calling in, and it was great to meet you in person at STLV. So if this was a horror movie, like how good did that crew on the planet do at surviving a horror movie? How did they do on the rules you're supposed to follow? Because their barricade game sucked.
Oh my God, Patel, what are you doing? My children could get past that barricade.
A bookshelf in front of a door, and to move that bookshelf, La'an pulls all the books off of it. No, you want a heavier barricade, not a shorter barricade. But I will say I did really like watching La'an be confident in this situation instead of being, she was never frozen in fear, right? But you could see the trauma in her eyes in episode 109. So I really liked getting to see, no, she has grown. She's past this. She's more confident. She trusts herself a little more. And we know that she's willing to take more risks, right? So I really think that this is a great development for her. I had not even considered that the Gorn may show up in a diplomatic fashion. That's brilliant. I honestly was thinking like some combination of Mbenga and Protocol 12, and, you know, there's already a war vet or two there. But I also thought to myself, hasn't Spock spent a good chunk of this season making peace with Klingons who have ships that can be cloaked? Like, would be cool to see the Klingons show up and run to the aid of the Federation. I don't know if that would work, like, with where their relationship is right now, but I would love it. And, you know, they could show up and be like, yeah, I know you have a claim on this planet, but so do we.
Yeah. What I really like is how the different characters reacted. Like, you know, Sam Kirk makes a point of saying, hey, I did not comport myself well last time. And he does this time. Like, we don't get a lot of him on the planet, but he is more cool and collected. But Ortegas is ice cold collected the whole time. Like, she has her conversation with Mbenga, but she's not having it because she's scared. She's having it because she knows it's an important conversation. But when they're hiding from the Gorn, like, she is at the ready to do battle. Like, man, when are we going to get her story? When are we going to get her backstory and her wartime story?
Right.
It's
I know.
there.
Right. It's there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't get it this episode, but she was so good from like what's this part on the map? And like coming up with the plan to the whole flying the shuttle sequence, just her smile the whole time. And then that scene with Mbenga is so good. And it's one of those scenes where like you kind of bring in the real life stuff too, and it makes it even more powerful. And she's just amazing in all of this. I do love when she was first talking about that. I was like, apparently Ortegas is an Empire Strikes Back fan, coming up with disguising the ship like space garbage and just floating off with that.
Another thing they did in Firefly, Cameron.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe she's a Firefly fan. You're right. Well, we know that Pike has movie nights, so I'm thinking they did do Empire Strikes Back recently, and then definitely, because of that line, Shaun of the Dead was a recent Enterprise movie night selection that Spock must have skipped out on. He was off moping about Chapel.
She noticed Scotty's uniform and went, "You've got some red on you there, Scotty."
So it's a movie we just watched.
I know that we mentioned it up front, but I promise you there will be more Open Pike Night episodes to help you get through this long, indeterminate Star Trek Strange New Worlds gap. So definitely stay tuned.
Absolutely.
Cold, cold world.
It's going to be. It's going to be. No movies in
Cold.
sight.
Cold. I had so much to say in response that I was very involved in y'all's responses to that take. And I also feel like I wanted to mention that La'an, the actress, I mean, I really love Christina Chong, is her name, her portrayal of La'an. And I met everybody at the San Diego Comic-Con, and it was really great. Everybody was really nice. I'm friends with Tawny. So I didn't realize that there was going to be a crossover app, but I was like, why are y'all hanging out? That's crazy that you guys, there's like Star Trek hangouts. I didn't understand, but they all knew each other from that episode. But meeting Christina, she was such a delight. She's the greatest. Yeah. Like I've had so much fun with her. She's so cool. She's like, I don't really like, we were she was like dancing so much. And like, I was like, yeah, I love your character so much. She's like, I don't even care about Star Trek. And I was like, but she does. And just knowing that, like some people you'd be like, oh, but for me, it was just like, well, your portrayal is perfect. Like you are perfect for this role. And
she's the most different from her character.
You know what I mean?
Like.
And you could really, she is, but she's just not phoning it in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
At all. Like she just, like her attachment and trauma with the Gorn. Cause like, if you watch TOS, like the Gorn is silly, you know, like in the beginning, and what they're trying to do is like describe and really illustrate what a threat this monster is to the universe. And La'an's, like Christina's character, is such an important part of that, and she's doing so well. And it's that.
And we do have to throw in there, if you haven't checked out Christina's EP Twin Flames, go do that on Spotify or Apple Music. She has repeatedly sold out of physical copies, so the next time a pre-order comes up, go get one.
Wow,
it's totally worth it.
Oh, amazing. Her cover of Try That in a Small Town is so good. Just kidding. I'm so sorry. Can you imagine? You're like,
that would be, I mean, that would be pretty hilarious. Yeah.
Okay.
Try That in a Space Town.
Try That in a Space Town.
Hey, she would definitely get a lot of streams. That's for sure. I mean, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
No such thing as bad publicity.
There we go. All right. Let's hear from our next caller. Here's Alpha Talking.
Okay, guys, this is at Alpha Talking from Twitter. Great episode. Listen, I might have some negatives towards the end here because I'm a TOS canon freak, but excellent episode. Love the show. Love the cliffhanger. Montgomery Scott, young Scotty. Just got to say, a star is Gorn, if you know where I'm going with that. But yeah, I think the TOS canon ice is starting to crack underneath me. I hope I don't fall in. I hope the writers can come up with a real good reason to match up this fantastic 2 seasons of Strange New Worlds with TOS's classic Arena. I'm trying to have as much faith as possible. Please discuss this on your show. And but excellent show. I loved it. I loved every bit of it. And I just can't wait for season 3. Thanks, guys. Love your show. Support you guys all the way.
All right. Thank you, Alpha Talking. I kind of feel like this, and I think we'll probably have some more discussions about this as the break goes on between seasons of Strange New Worlds, but like, hopefully people can start to be like, okay, this just makes the Arena Gorn that much more. It's like how you know, it is dangerous. They said how dangerous it was in the episode. And yes, it is kind of a joke because of the rubber mask, but it's like, well, we're getting some backstory as to at some point this beast that Kirk was fighting was this dangerous. And so it's like, makes you wonder how sick and old it is that he's fighting.
Right.
Well, I like the idea that, like, yeah, as you get older and maybe the Gorn do become weaker, they lose their tails and everything as they age, and they become the captains, and it's the younglings that go out and do the fighting because they're the spry ones. And Kirk just got really lucky that these aliens who beamed the 2 captains, that he wound up with like an old captain.
Yeah.
I think I can see them kind of moving in that, syncing up the 2 seamlessly pretty well.
It also would seem to fit with what we know about the Strange New Worlds Gorn, that, you know, once a captain or anybody in their ranks becomes not necessarily perfect for battle, that person gets kind of pushed to the side in the Gorn society, right? Like we have them fighting for dominance as their younglings, so it might stand to reason that when they get old, they just lose the support of most of the hegemony. Now, I have a line and a theory that totally popped into my head when you DM'd me about this, Alpha Talking, because I was honestly thinking about you when I saw the Gorn in the full suit. I was like, hey, it's still a suit. Maybe that's good enough. But what do we as Trekkies know that it could mean for somebody to be A, very sensitive to light, and B, seemingly overly aggressive and bloodthirsty? I'm thinking, of course, of Captain Gabriel Lorca, who we eventually found out was from the Mirror Universe.
Gremlins, right?
That means, yeah.
Oh, right, Gremlins, yeah.
That could mean
it is
that could mean that these Gorn are Mirror Gorn, and that's why they're so aggressive, and that's why they drew their line in such a way that would force an attack from the Federation, because they knew the Federation is mostly a peaceful organization, and they're like, well, we got to do something to provoke these people. So I think it's at least possible that these are Mirror Gorn, and I don't think that would even be the first instance of Mirror Gorn, because isn't there something to do with Mirror Gorn in Enterprise?
Yes, there is.
So, I mean,
man.
I went all the way for you on that, Alpha Talking.
I like it.
I went all the way.
I just like the idea that as you age, you become more puppety. It's kind of
That's true to life.
It is,
Yeah.
right?
Skin
Like
gets
your
all
skin
rubbery.
starts hanging off weirdly.
Yeah.
Your lips move
And you need
forward.
different, like,
There's
or
lines.
like if you get dentures, it's like clackety in a way.
Yeah.
It's sort of
You get
I love-
Botox,
I
so your,
love
your
your-
skin
Yeah.
doesn't move as much. And,
Exactly.
I really love your dentures impression there.
The weird rubbery skin
Yeah.
flaps on the bottom of your arm.
yeah, and there's a hand
Yes.
coming out of your butt
Yeah.
if you're lucky.
And I, just
You
like
guys, right?
everybody else, and to your point though, I think that there were some seeds in this episode of, okay, maybe we just don't understand the Gorn, right? Like,
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
clearly they can communicate. They chose to communicate visually, of course. But even Pike is saying, like, you know, I hate this situation. I'm angry at the Gorn. I want Batel back, but maybe there's a way to reach them. You know, maybe there's something we can do.
Mhm.
And of course, we do also get the repeated iteration of sometimes monsters are just monsters, right? And Akiva Goldsman has said, I think explicitly, that the Gorn aren't meant to be an allegory for anything in particular. But like, when you think about how they're very aggressive and they're violating borders for seemingly no reason, like that kind of fits into some of the world events of now, right? Like it's possible that those thoughts were in Akiva's head subconsciously when he was writing, we just need evil. Let's put some evil in the show. But as we all know, Star Trek is all about understanding. So I think there's still hope for this to line up almost perfectly with TOS canon. And I appreciate you calling in with a take that could be considered hot, but stated in a very respectful way and a way that really begets really good conversation. So thank you, Alpha Talking.
Well, I love the smart Gorn here because our first signs of diplomacy from them is just like an obvious test from them.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
okay, we're going to put this line here and we're going to not attack you and we're going to stay to our side of the line. Of course, there's a bunch of your people stuck on the other side of the line, so we're going to see what you value and what you're willing to risk. So yeah, I do love kind of like how we are getting into the minds of the Gorn a little bit. Also, speaking of the Gorn, did anyone else think that when Uhura was like, they're sending a message, it's a picture, throw it up there, Lieutenant. Ensign? She's an ensign. That we were going to see a Gorn dick pic. Like, I was like 50%. They're sending
And
a
then
dick
it's
pic.
just
That's
like-
such a Gorn thing
And
to
then
do.
no explanation. Worf is there shooting at the screen. You're like, who are you?
I
Don't
came
worry
through
about it.
those
Oh, by
those
the-
lower
Open,
deckers a few weeks ago.
I'll be honest. I was hoping that she was going to say they sent a message, audio only, and then it would just be like, rah, 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 right? Like angry growling. And they would be like, I don't know what this means. Like, hopefully it means go get your people. We're fine with that.
Yeah. Well, let's hear from our next caller, who's Jesse from Alaska, returning to the stage.
Hey, this is Jessie from Alaska. I'm watching the new episode of Strange New Worlds, and finally, we are back to our regular program here. I absolutely hated the musical episode because there was like no big reveal. I mean, Buffy had some big reveals, and I don't know, whatever. This is what I've been hoping for this season. I wanted to see the Gorn again, and we're getting Montgomery Scott, so that's pretty cool. I'm kind of digging the away outfits. It kind of looks like SWAT team outfits almost, but spacey SWAT team. I don't know. I'm not even through like the whole episode. I stopped partway through just to record this. I really like the feel of this episode. I don't know, it's just a little more of something that we haven't really seen a whole bunch of. Or at least I don't feel like we've seen a whole bunch of. It's a little darker, a little more like hands-on action.
All right. So, if you have listened to Open Pike Night and you're thinking, should I call in? Yes, you should call in. You don't even have to finish an episode like Jesse.
Yeah.
Like, if you,
You don't
want
even
to
have
call
to
in,
watch
call
it.
in. You don't even have to watch it like Alice. Just if you want to call in, please. You are always welcome to call into the Open Pike Night stage. I'm glad she mentioned the costumes because our regular costume noticer, Abby, is, I believe, like out camping or something, so hasn't had a chance to see the episode yet. So they are some cool away team outfits. I know we've seen a little bit of them before, but yeah, sort of the battle armor, still with the command and the different colors present on the outfits. It looks pretty cool. I like those outfits.
And because my name is also Jesse, I feel comfortable pushing back a little bit on your points about the musical because we did get some plot moments in that episode. A couple of them were fairly sizable, right? Now, you could argue that they were plot moments that we, as Trekkies, already knew, but they were plot moments that these characters were experiencing for the first time. Of course, I'll refer to Chapel breaking up with Spock in a song. Like, that's pretty impactful for the rest of the series. And the admission from Kirk to La'an that, yes, I am here to have fun and hang out, but I have a pregnant girlfriend back on Starbase 1, and we all know that that's going to come into play during the Wrath of Khan. But I got to agree 100% on the space outfits. I would love to get one of those chest plates. Like, I'm sure it wouldn't fit me. I'm sure I wouldn't look as good in it, but I would love to have one just on my wall. I love that design. It feels like a good continuation of the TOS exosuit design, and it's just shiny, right? I love it.
Listeners may I point out he's going to wear it to work. It's not going to happen.
On your wall. What a waste. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, we had just watched rewatched the musical episode before watching this one. So when they're on the planet and Pike goes, "Barbershop now," definitely for a second thought they were going to break into an acapella about the Gorn.
Hello, the Gorn.
That is a well-appointed barbershop with a big basement. I mean, like,
yeah. Also, I don't know why, but I kept bumping like that. That was a slaughterhouse. Everything they went into, and like Pike's just sleeping against someone's blood against the wall. Like, wow.
You got to stay in the zone, when you're in the zone. And John, I'll point out that as a frontier planet, every building has to be well apportioned and have all kinds of extra space. You never know what you're going to need on a colony.
Yeah. So are we just thinking the Gorn are like pop top ripping heads off? Is that why all the blood is on the ceilings and then dripping
on
back
the ceiling?
Yeah, it's like MacGruber. They're ripping throats.
There we go.
Get down there and rip some throats. They're actually fun. They're a fun group.
If you're into that sort of thing, yeah.
It's like a kegger for them, really. Attacking a Federation outpost, yeah.
Those younglings have some real, jerky style head movements that I think are pretty indicative of where the blood may end up.
They're not
meat
eaters. Yeah. They eat like
it's
my
a face forward attack strategy.
Yeah. Face forward, blood upward. Yeah.
That's their clear eyes, full hearts. Face forward, blood upward.
Can't lose.
They've got their Gorn coach Taylor. He's like, now I might be a puppety guy,
That's what he is. He's the coach.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right, let's hear from Kelly returning to the Open Pike 9 stage.
Greetings, Open Pike. This is Kelly Zent-Georgi for Antipodal on Twitter. Cowabunga, what a season finale, and Star Trek Strange New World's first two-part episode, and a cliffhanger, too. Fantastic episode, employing again one of the traits I dearly admire about this series, referencing details from previous episodes. Captain Pike holding his mariner's keystone that Captain Battelle gifted to him in Among the Lotus Eaters. Sam Kirk volunteers to go on the landing party, mentioning his fear of the Gorn in All Those Who Wander. Spock speaking with Una about his breakup with Chapel in Subspace Rhapsody. And yikes! La'an, Ortega, Sam Kirk, and the colonists beamed up by the Gorn. Absolutely fantastic, we meet Lieutenant Junior Grade Montgomery Scott. Actor Martin Quinn is marvelous. Interesting, though, how this version of Scotty is younger than Spock. In Star Trek the original series, he was older. The clue word Shangdai, provided by actor Dan Janot in his Open Pike interview, is used, pertaining to the Shangdai solar system, where Mr. Scott's ship, the Star Driver, is overwhelmed by the Gorn. Thank you, Open Pike. Best wishes during the long hiatus until Season 3, and hailing frequencies are closed.
Thank you, Kelly, and welcome to Blue Sky, may I say.
Oh, that'll age well.
That's what our podcast does, John.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't a bump because Star Trek does it all the time, treating solar systems like nearby islands. But I was like, how did Scotty get in a broke up shuttle from one solar system to another? Okay, that's Star Trek. Yeah, that's fine.
Maybe it's an adjacent system, man.
They're still really far away, Jesse. It's a lot of
He's
space
in a
between
space
solar
vehicle.
systems.
Like what?
Stable
And it's
wormholes.
Scotty.
Shuttle.
Stable
And we
wormholes
know-
are very rare. Unstable wormholes? We don't know.
There you go.
Pretty common. And we know Scotty is a miracle worker and that he
That's
heavily modified the shuttle anyway. Like,
Yeah.
maybe it went to warp. I don't know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we did get our final one-word tease from Dan Janot. We were starting to be doubtful that maybe he had just given us a fake word back when we talked to him last year, but we got to see it.
Classic Sam. Well, yeah, I was very happy for Sam to get some redemption, not only from his behavior in episode 9, season 1, which I thought was fine, but again, I thought he was being a little petulant throughout this season. So to see him kind of step up and be a badass, I was very happy to see because I am a Sam fan.
Yeah.
And what I think is really, really cool about that is that, I mean, the only other time we saw Sam Kirk, he was dead and he was Shatner, right? So
he was a mustache wearing Shatner.
Right. And for Dan Janot to step into this role and to truly honestly end up as a lot of people's favorite Kirk brother has got to feel so good.
That's right.
And bravo, man. Like, you have earned it every step of the way.
Yeah. Oh, I love that for him. That's such a cool thing, too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, as an actor, I don't have that experience, you know.
Aww.
I've,
Yet.
I haven't. Yeah, exactly. I haven't come into an existing IP and messed something up or not messed something up yet.
How many Trek series have you tried out for?
Well, if I couldn't tell you how many because they make you sign NDAs when you audition.
Oh.
So I could tell you I've signed 0 NDAs. And I only got one opportunity, which was Lower Decks, which was offer, not audition, which was great.
Oh, well, there you
Very
go.
nice.
That's nice.
So that's nice. But I have talked to Veronica about this. It's harder. Veronica, I think, has gone out for it, but it's harder for when the newer shows, when they shoot overseas or in another country, it's harder for you to come in and just casually guest star like you would on a show that's shot here in the States because of the tax breaks and stuff like that. So we'd really need to get in there, and being a series right on another show has not helped.
That makes sense.
Well, and with Veronica's jet setting, international lifestyle, it's probably easier for her to just pick up and go.
Well, it really, where is she? all the time. She's on that beauty influencer planet right now. But like, honestly, she's not a series regular. So that is really one of the reasons why it's like, because even if you're a series regular, it's nearly impossible. And this is one of the reasons we're striking. It's like, I can't, as a series regular, go out to do a recurring on another show. Unless like people have to have conversations about it. They're very reticent to let you out, even though most of the time that show is airing, you're not working. You know what I mean? So it's like they keep people, and so that's one of the reasons we're striking is like a lot of people who you recognize from shows that you haven't seen in a long time. It's like because we can't get jobs, you know, because like a lot of the stuff is shooting overseas or in Canada, and you can't work on those shows unless the studio justifies it. Like they have to justify paying for somebody who isn't a local hire.
Right. Because they need to hire a certain percentage of locals.
They need to hire a certain percentage of locals, Canada, and the more the better. Like if when I'm on Resident Alien, like Resident Alien is shot in Vancouver, and we can, like every time we hire, we have a character written for a specific actor that is a stateside person. Like we can get that person, but if it's not written specifically for them, we have to really fight to get a cast who's not a local Canadian hire because there's tax breaks.
Yeah, as you were saying earlier, the executives clearly know what they're doing.
I think it's a system in the works.
Yeah.
To be fair, Dan Jeanotte's a Canadian actor who's on Star Trek Strange New Worlds for that reason. See, that's the thing. That's why we're seeing this actor, and that's why it works, which is why the studio's genius. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like you're not getting it. I love them and everything they do. No, but I am really heartened. I'll say this last thing and we can go to the next call, but like, I'm really heartened to hear, just as an actor and somebody who works and is not working right now, and how hard it's been, I know, for me and other people that I work with. It's so heartening to hear fans reacting to the strike like, oh, these fuckers, like, why won't they do this thing? And yay, give me back my content. But also they realize it's unfair. And it's so nice to be able to see that kind of solidarity from the people that we do this for, really. You know, the people that we love and love us. And like, it's very encouraging. So I'm glad to hear your listeners reflect that.
Yeah, they're pretty awesome. And we've run into, I don't think we've ever had anybody just flat out tell us, I really don't want that union to succeed, and I want shows to go back into production.
Yeah.
So
that's the thing about Star Trek fans.
Yeah, seems like
We're
people
the
are
best.
getting the message loud and clear.
I'm glad I haven't heard any of the like, oh, don't they already make millions?
Yeah.
Spoil them like
no,
yeah,
they really
3% of them.
That's why Star Trek fans are the best. It's like they're already sophisticated enough to like look past the original dumb thought, you know?
Right.
And everybody who has shared that original dumb thought on Twitter with our account gets instantly blocked. So yeah, we don't see that at all. It's great.
There you go.
All right. Well, let's hear from our last caller of the evening. It's a new caller. Here is Haven.
Ensign's personal log. Stardate 2023.0810. Today's episode of Strange New Worlds is probably the best season finale we've had since Best of Both Worlds.
All right. Haven putting it very succinctly. Thank you for calling in. Welcome to the Open Pike Night stage. Yeah. I mean, this has been compared to Best of Both Worlds several times on this podcast episode alone, let alone the broader Star Trek fan base at large. I mean, how are we feeling about it as a finale to a season?
I don't know if, like, I hadn't thought of that, Haven, and now I don't know if I can pick a finale that is better. Like, wow, that's a really good call. There were some Lower Decks finales that I was really jazzed about, but with Lower Decks, you always have that thought in the back of your head, like they'll resolve this in a fun Star Trek way, and you're not like worried or like genuinely like it's not like
tonally
you can't
not
figure
the same
out
stakes.
Yeah,
and they
exactly.
know it, and it works for that reason.
And I think I'm going to just agree with you flatly. I think this is probably the best season finale that we've had since Best of Both Worlds, with the caveat that I haven't seen any of the DS9 season finales and I haven't seen any of the Enterprise season finales, but I'm still comfortable.
I would
saying
say, I would say some DS9 finales comes close. There's one particular I'm thinking of where it is a very, like, it's the most tonally similar season finale I can think of massing for war or preparing for battle. There's a fantastic final episode, I think of season 5, maybe season 6, but man, this is a good finale. This is a just through and through, it keeps the action moving, and it just goes. This finale doesn't hold back anything.
I agree.
I mean, guys, are we forgetting that TNG Shades of Grey was a season finale? I mean, that's just a whole nother level,
really
though, right?
good
We can't. It's unfair to compare.
But that was before Best of Both Worlds, Cameron.
Yeah.
So,
if we're saying
right,
since, yeah.
Since, yeah.
Mm.
And the rest of the season finales for TNG that were
Conspiracy,
two-parters were
yeah.
like, well, they were like clearly trying to capture the best of both worlds.
I really loved,
so
and it's a
much.
completely totally different situation, but I loved the Discovery season finale of the last season so much because I thought it was the series finale. I was like, this is a great series finale. And then I learned it wasn't. And now I'm not so sure.
I'm very excited for season 5.
I mean, me
I
too.
truly believe that it's going to be a Toxutot storyline, and I cannot wait.
It's going to be hilarious if it is. I mean, all the things to bring back. It's like, man, why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
I'll watch it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'll go find it in the heap that is Paramount Oops' algorithm.
You'll have to. We think you want to watch Walker, Texas Ranger, right, Alice? Based on your
What's
likes.
Walker, Utah Ranger? What are these shows? What's the 1915 Project? I hate this. Get me out of here.
Yeah.
There's so many weird.
I promise never to watch any of that.
Backyard burglars? What's that even?
Yeah, I got Peacock so I could watch Resident Alien, Alice, and that's where all the Love Island reality shows are. I discovered.
Oh, well, there's the twofer.
That's Peacock. Oops, that's right.
Thank you for getting Peacock for that.
Just for you, I did.
You get your dose of Alan Tudyk, and then you get your dose of hot singles.
You know what? That's all you need in life, right?
Alan Tudyk, and then more dick.
There you go.
That, right?
More dick. That's right.
We'll see. We'll workshop it.
Something most stick. I really like this episode finale. Yes, for all the reasons they said. There's some plot stuff that, but I can ignore it because, the pace is perfect. The emotional stakes are all there. I care about every character and what's going to happen to them. And it really got me with some of those kind of little twists at the end. So, loved it.
I'm so excited. Like, I have not, I have to go to dinner with my family dinner right now. And I'm just going to be like, itching to get out of there. Just not that I already was going to be, of course. But
now you have an excuse.
Now
You've
even
given
more.
you an excuse.
Yeah.
I would stay later, guys, but I've got the Star Trek I
You
gotta
get
watch.
it. It's my job. And it's weird because it
You
is.
get it.
So
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll let you get going here. But
All right.
first off, Open Pike Night is an open mic night themed podcast. Do you have a joke to share with us tonight?
yes. Okay. So this is have you heard the polar bear one?
I don't think so.
Joke of the polar bear? Central character?
As an Alaskan, I feel I must have heard every polar bear joke, but I don't know.
Well, let's see. Stop me if you've heard this one. This economy, right? I'm just kidding. You're like, where's the polar bear? Okay. So the polar bear is a little kid polar bear, and he says to his mom, I don't know if I'm a polar bear. And she's like, What do you mean you're not a polar bear? And he's like, are you sure that we're like, there's no grizzly in our hair, and I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm a polar bear, your dad's a polar bear, 100%. I took a DNA test. Turns out I'm that polar bear, And he's like, okay. All right, sounds good. She's like, are you okay? Like, maybe you should go talk to your dad about this. So he goes to talk to his dad, and he's like, yeah, Dad, I was just wondering, like, I'm a polar bear, right? And he's like, yeah, of course, son. Of course you're a polar bear. I'm a polar bear. Your mom's a polar bear. Her mom was a polar bear. We come from polar bears. That's who we are. And you are a polar bear. And he's like, oh, okay. And the dad goes, why do you ask? And he's like, well, I'm fucking freezing.
I like it.
I like it too.
It a lot.
So,
that's good.
I don't know,
I was
man.
kind of hoping you were just going to stop and say to be continued before the punchline. But
I have this joke that starts, this is how I test an audience. I have a joke that starts off with like, it'd be weird if you died. And then I do this thing where I go, it'd be weird if you died. What else is going on? And if the audience is cool, they laugh at that part. But if they're not, you know, and then I'm like, oh, they didn't laugh at that. Okay, we're going to dumb it down. They're drunk. They're drunk. We got to dumb it down. But yes, please come see me live. I'll be in Minnesota on the 20th of September. And that's true. But go to my website for anything you want to follow me on. Please follow me on TikTok. I'm twitching on Tuesdays and Fridays. I'm playing Zelda Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. I'm playing very slowly. So I'm going to be doing that for the next nigh on 17 years.
There you go.
And there's a great community there. And we hang out and laugh and chat. And it's great. Oh, Patreon also. Also, stay tuned to this show because they're going to talk about what's next for this show. Don't leave just now. This isn't the end. This is, keep going.
And we will get Alice's thoughts on the last 3 episodes somehow.
Yes, we will.
All right. Very excited.
And we will,
for all of you.
I can't wait to be back. AliceWetterlund.com.
All right.
I almost thought of a funnier one. But, and you can also to subscribe to the podcast. You can go to mostlyfans.net. But that's also linked through my website, AliceWetterlund.com. You guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
This has been great.
Thank you, Alice.
I can't wait to be back sooner rather than later.
Yes. Yeah. It's gonna be good.
That's how you do it.
All right. See you soon.
Sorry, I didn't watch the actual episode.
Jesse, now that we are 100% complete with season 2 of Strange New Worlds, is this episode better or worse than season 1, episode 10, A Quality of Mercy?
Well, I'm not going to say better or worse, but what I am going to say is that this episode is going to get my nod because it does partially rely on season 1, episode 10, in which we see Pike struggle with the decision of like, do I just shoot this thing or do I try to make peace? And then we see him have that exact same conflict emotionally in this episode. He's like, I do really want to shoot them, but is there a way to make peace? It's sort of the opposite of what he went through in that episode. And to end on him not really being sure, I've said it a lot before, but I like that we get a Starfleet captain that feels truly human, right? My one complaint maybe with Kirk in the original series is that he's good at everything. Like he doesn't have any weaknesses. He always knows what to do, which I get, but I like having a more believable captain in Pike. And yeah, this episode, like for me, it's perfect. And you can't beat perfection. So this episode is going to get my nod. I think I gave every episode in season 2 the nod over season 1.
Yeah, so I think the season 1 one was definitely a bigger swing. It was, they did something more conceptually interesting, but much like how Among the Lotus Eaters was one of my favorite from this season, I feel like this again just stuck to what this show does so well and just knocked it out of the park. I have to give this one head and shoulders above season 1. Great season finale.
Yeah, I gotta agree. This was just such a good episode of Star Trek, such a good finale, such a good Strange New Worlds, just moving along. People kept saying, oh, this season's gonna be all about the Gorn, all about the Gorn. It's like we got one mention in episode 1 and we got one episode to close out the season, and that was the perfect amount of Gorn, and it works so well. So yeah, I'm gonna have to say season 2, episode 10, Hegemony, is definitely my favorite of the 2. All right. So, guys, we have some stuff coming up.
Yep. Strange New Worlds might be over, but Open Pike Night is not.
Jesse, what are we going to be doing next?
So, as you may remember from season 1, we do have a post-season retrospectacular planned where we take a look back at the whole season, collect some more calls, get folks' thoughts. And this season, we actually have a second retrospective planned with one Akiva Goldsman and one Henry Alonzo Myers. So there will be two versions of the retrospective. One of them will be all you, and the second one will be straight from the horse's mouth.
And then after that, at some point, I'm very excited for, we don't really have a name for it yet. Feel free to offer up suggestions, but basically a writer's watch along. One of my favorite things is to listen to writers, actors, directors that I love talking about the writers, actors, directors, and just general shows and movies they love. And so we're going to get some writers on. We've got one pinned down so far. Hopefully we can get some more to watch something that inspired one of their scripts. And we'll be able to talk to them about the episode or movie and then how it inspired their script. Our patrons are going to be allowed to watch that live in the chat and offer up their own questions and thoughts. And then we'll release the finished thing as its own, basically like a commentary track you can watch along with the chosen media. So very excited for that. We should be having one come out in September and hopefully a few others as we go forward.
Yep. And then in some real world stuff, I will be stopping by Fan X in Salt Lake coming up September 21st through 23rd. That is local enough to me that I can get to that convention pretty easily. So expect to see a bit of an Open Pike Night presence there.
And the same weekend, just the day up, 22nd through the 24th, is in Portland, Rose City Comic Con. I'll be there. We've got a couple Star Trek folks showing up. Rebecca Romaine, who we have not met in person yet. I'm definitely going to go say hi to her. Maybe get her to sign something we can give away at some point.
And you will have a chance to get some of those con-exclusive stickers that were handed out at STLV at both Fan X and Rose City Comic Con. And, there's been a lot of demand. We're going to put some of those designs up on our shop. Not all of them, because a couple of them are sort of STLV specific, but the most popular ones are not. So we're going to put those up on the shop. And that does include the My Name Is I Fly the Ship sticker and label that you can put on a shirt. And there's also one more episode coming for Subspace Rhapsody, because we got a lot of really good calls for that while we were in Vegas. And I mean, I'm not surprised that you, the listeners, are dedicated enough to send in calls, even for an episode where I actually didn't even put out a call to action. We figured there's going to be so much going on in Vegas, we may not have time, but we're going to make time because you called, you have great points to make, and I'm not against talking about an episode again. So that is coming up probably in September, along with any calls that we didn't get to throughout the season. So keep your eyes on your podcast feed.
Go to openpike.com and check out all the links we have there to our social medias. Be sure to sign up for our newsletter. That newsletter comes directly to your email inbox, and that's probably the best way there is to find out about when to send in calls to Open Pike. We put out calls to action for every episode we do when we want to hear from people, and follow us on social media. But really, we will just send you a whole email describing what we're talking about, what we're looking for in calls, and we want to hear from anybody who wants to call in.
Also on that site, you can find a link to our Patreon. If you're not yet signed up, we are still doing the apron giveaway. We're going to be drawing that on the 29th?
Yep.
Yeah.
So we will reveal the winner of our apron giveaway, which has 8 crew signatures on it, cast members who play crew on that apron. And yeah, going to give that away to a lucky patron, any level. And then we've got lots of cool patron exclusives coming after that as well. So stick around if you like.
And we have lots of cool patron exclusives on there already. So yeah, some of which might include our most recent karaoke night out at STLV. Some videos from that.
Exciting.
So patrons, keep an eye out for those.
So that's our next month and a half of content. We've got some ideas going forward too. Of course, interviews. Really hope to get Bernadette Croft on soon to talk about those costumes we've been talking about all season. But what do you want to hear from us? We're going to have a while till season 3. So we are open to suggestions. Come onto our socials. Let us know what you'd like to see Open Pike Night do. And maybe, or if you're a patron, what you want more exclusives of there too.
And whatever social channel that you prefer to use, we're probably there. Just look up at Open Pike. You will find us.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. All right, Cam, when you're not on the Open Pike Night stage, where can folks find you?
You can find me over at Green Shirt, a newbie's trek to the next generation, where I and John and a couple of other of our friends are watching TNG, me for the very first time. You know the spiel. We're halfway through season 6. We're coming back. We're on a little hiatus while we finish up Strange New Worlds, but we'll be back in September, along with the DS9 Minute as well.
And Jesse, where can folks find you when you're not on the Open Pike Night stage?
When I'm not on the Open Pike Night stage or at Star Trek Las Vegas, just absolutely geeking out despite my failure to wear sunscreen at all.
Oh, yeah.
You can find me on Sudden But Inevitable, which, in case you haven't been clued in by that title, started as a Firefly podcast and evolved into a show where I force my friends to enjoy single-season television shows that were canceled before their time, just like both Cowboy Bebops. I think the first one was probably intentional, but, you know.
Well, it's been a long night, and the Open Pike Night crew has to go down to a mid-century American planet and start building a comedy club there. So be sure to clean up after yourselves. Be sure to tip your servers. You can go anywhere you want, but to be continued.